Hello world, Jacob here. This is a burger. It has bread, vegetables, got a little tomato in there, some onion, it's got meat, and it's got a little bit of ketchup, mustard, mayo, the works. If I take away some of the meat, the two patties on here, is it still a burger? Is it still a sandwich? And to go a step further, to take away the top bread and some pickles, and then take the rest of it and fold it in half. Is it still a burger? Is it still a sandwich? You are the meat to society's sandwich. If you're vegan, you can get the lettuce or tomato. Social normalities dictate what you're supposed to do in society. Whether you contain the ingredients like a leader, or add some flavor like an artist. There are generally two groups or ideologies that develop these norms: religion and culture. Both piggyback off each other, but in many ways they differ. Religion has provided morals and a certain code of ethics over the centuries. This code of ethics put men in power, providing them dominance and control, and setting up the requirement of providing for a family. This is a common occurrence that was perpetrated around the world, even though many cultures developed far separately. This simultaneous creation has caused women and people of different sexualities much pain over the years. However, it's hard to overstate why religions form this way. Cultures have had many chances to change over the years, and you would think different parts of the world may have chosen differently. Africa is an interesting example because as they were developing, they had many different tribes that had primarily male warriors, but many of the tribes were widely egalitarian. In many real-world cases, women would have power over certain areas of life. But in cases such as shown in Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, masculinity was defined by authority, anger, violence, and wealth. This carries over to Asia as well, because through Japan's pseudo-feudalistic period, which they had a mix of male and female warriors called samurai. This came with an altered form of masculinity disguised as Bushido, or the Japanese code of ethics, where a samurai was supposed to protect their lord's land and honor, and also die with honor. These codes kept samurai from killing indiscriminately and kept them in line, but as they were passed down, they became about saving face and kept setting high standards for the next generation. Bushido has a similar but different brother named chivalry, which itself developed in medieval feudal Europe. It is much more than opening doors for any fair maiden. It consists of "Thou must defend thy church, thy lord, and the defenseless, including widows and orphans. A knight must also refrain from monetary payment, besmirching the honor of a fellow knight. Fight for welfare and fairness for all, keep the faith, and speak the truth among others." This has developed into seeing men as stalwarts of defense and strength who don't need help and can take a beating and walk it off. There are plenty more cases of masculinity sleeping into culture, like the machismo and caballerismo of the Latin Americans, the manifest destiny of white Americans, and the pressure to be a protector for African American men, which was incurred by past and current oppression. The US leaned into previous social norms of warriors and was theorized by David and Brannon to fall under 4 pillars. No sissy stuff. Avoid feminine things like emotions. The big wheel, you gotta be respected to make money for your family. The sturdy oak. Act tough and strong and keep your head up high. And give 'em hell. Fight and conquer to the bitter end. These 4 tenets are what the socially acceptable man was built on.
From birth, we are told to be a man is to be masculine. But at this point, what is masculinity? To one person, it could be following the code of Bushido or chivalry. To another, it could be showing how much they can provide for a family. To some, though, masculinity is seen as toxic and harmful. You can find plenty of people trying to tear down this wall as they think everyone would be better without it. Now, I didn't say wall for nothing. Masculinity, in whatever form it takes, is used by men to fit in with other men and society. And when peace breaks down, the same men use this bravado to take on horrors and keep moving. But this wall rarely comes down when you're so focused on protecting others that you forget to protect yourself. When death comes before dishonor, coming back from this battlefield alone takes a toll and the shield is raised higher. According to a 2022 study by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, they state around 17 veterans died by suicide every day. Not only men who experience war put up this shield. Almost every man from a young age isn't given the tools to talk about their feelings or positively express them. In the last 5 years, male suicide has been around 4 times higher than the rate of female suicide. While men take up roughly half the world's population, we account for around 80% of the suicides. To put in perspective, per 100,000 people, 23 men commit suicide compared to 5.9 females. So why don't they just go to therapy? Healthy Gamer GG, I'll call him HGGG for short, is a psychiatrist YouTuber. He explains it quite well in his video Why Therapy Sucks for Men. He states that for men, an emotion is a problem to be solved, not talked about, which is unfortunately true. Think back to your childhood. When you were getting teased by an older sibling, one of your friends, a bully, etc., did you A, take it because indifference is better than pain? B, fight back because you were angry? C, disengage and ask for help? Or D, tell the insulter how it made you feel? I'm asking this because A and B are more common answers among men. After all, when you were younger, not much would be fixed by C and D. And in some cases, it would even make things worse. This mindset makes men more independent, but also makes them less likely to ask for help. HGGG also talks about how even couples therapy can make things worse for men, because around 60% of psychiatrists are female, and throughout the formation of therapy, most patients were women. The bias for who's right usually falls into the woman's court, because she has the tools to express herself when he doesn't. It's like putting a muzzle on a dog with no teeth. A lot of men notice this bias and are reluctant to go to couples therapy because of it. Because when a woman can express herself to another woman, and you sit there and go, oh. Most of the time, the ball will land in the woman's court. In the end, as has happened for plenty of years before now, this cycle will continue. Men will be seen as violent, toxic, and unfeeling. But slowly, this cycle is breaking. We are seeing more men getting help and finding themselves better equipped to handle emotions, even if survival is cooked into our DNA and we want to overcome each hurdle alone. More people are realizing that asking for help isn't weak. Reaching out to your friends to ask if they're okay doesn't have to be weird. There are many places I recommend, such as Talk Club, which is based in the UK, but they are expanding and are always willing to help. You can also try the 3x3 method for therapists. Try up to 3 therapists for 3 sessions each before you throw in the towel on therapy. Who knows? The second one might just stick and you won't have to try a third. And where better to try therapy than the comfort of your own home? BetterHelp is an online therapy resource that connects you to a real licensed therapist from your couch, car, or local cafe. They can provide round-the-clock service and can be cheaper than what you get through insurance. So if you're a homebody or feel like you don't have the time to sit down with an IRL therapist, just like you train your body with weights, therapy can help you train your mind. So start repping today with BetterHelp. It's time to get serious. Just like everybody out there, I've found myself struggling to fit the mold set out before me. I continue to struggle with feelings of self-worth and find myself still trying to go it alone. I too feel the fear of not making it past tomorrow or disappointing my peers. Just know, if you're at rock bottom, the only way is up. Stay strong, stay fearless, and answer me this. How are you out of 10?